If you prefer a data-based buying guide, then you are in the right place. Welcome to our channel. We are techies, not salesmen. No flashy words or biased opinions. We made this list based on the big data collected from customers, manufacturers, as well as our data providers. Thanks to our exclusive unsupervised learning AI system, analyzing and comparing all these products couldn't be more accurate or efficient. We list the best buy products and their competitive advantages. This list includes options for every type of consumer. If you want more information and the updated prices on the products mentioned, be sure to check the links in the description below and feel free to subscribe. Okay, now let's start our list.
Hi, my name is Gabby and I'll be walking you through on how to install your UpCircleSeven Yoga Swing. The UpCircleSeven Yoga Swing comes packaged in a convenient travel bag that holds your yoga swing and its accessories. In the bag, you should see 2 yoga swing arms with 6 foam handles, 1 yoga swing, 2 extension straps, and 4 metal carabiners. Before we install the yoga swing, we'll need to do a safety check. We recommend you do the safety check before each use. What we'll check first is the fabric and then the stitching. Our yoga swings are triple stitched, all for your safety. Slight fraying on the stitching is normal, but excessive fraying is not. Always use your best judgment. Now we'll check the rope knots and carabiners. Make sure the rope knots are tied securely around the carabiners. You'll then want to check that the carabiners are not damaged and that they lock in place when clipped. If the knot is loose, this is how you can tie it back onto the carabiner. Next, we'll inspect the extension straps. You'll want to check each loop and the stitching around each. If any of the parts we just checked are damaged or defective in any way, please contact us immediately and do not use the yoga swing for your safety. So far so good? Let's move on. You can mount your swing any way you want. Just make sure any structure you're secured on is sturdy and safe. The most common methods of hanging your yoga swing is by using ceiling mounts, exposed ceiling beams, swing sets, or door frame bars. For this video, we'll show you how to hang your yoga swing by using a bar or beam. Hang tight, we're almost done. Now we'll locate the 2 large loops at the end of each extension strap. Next, we'll place the extension strap on the bar or beam and let it hang evenly. With one loop end in one hand, thread the other loop through it so it forms a knot and pull tight. You'll do this for both extension straps. We're now ready to attach the yoga swing seat and arms to the extension strap. For the yoga swing seat, attach the carabiners on each end of the swing to each extension strap. Adjust the height of the seat so it's at the level of your navel. For the yoga swing arms, simply clip each arm carabiner to the same loops the swing seat carabiners are attached to. Your yoga swing is now installed, but before you use it, let's do one last safety check. You'll want to tug here and here to make sure your swing is properly installed. Your yoga swing is now ready to be used. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoy your UpCircleSeven.
Hi, this is Lucas with YOGABODY and the Yoga Trapeze, and I wanted to unbox a yoga trapeze so you can see what's inside, all the different parts, and then I'll show you how to hang one up as well. So the yoga trapeze comes in this carrying bag. It's just a very simple drawstring bag. And when you open up the bag, one of the first things that you'll find is that we have black ropes included. Now these black ropes have a protector on the end, this metal protector, and the ropes are designed for hanging your yoga trapeze. And you'll notice that the ropes are doubled up. We do this for extra strength. These ropes are incredibly strong, but we double them up even more. The knots that are on the rope are there for adjusting the height or the level of your trapeze. Just one thing to keep in mind with the ropes themselves is when you turn them up, you want to make sure that you have at least 10 centimeters on the end of your rope. And so make sure there's enough space on the end of your rope, and then you can tighten up that knot. The knots they come loose and you can tighten them up. And as we use the rope, what we'll do is we'll go over a beam, we'll go over a hook. If you're using our ceiling hooks, you go through the ceiling hook. If you're using our door mount bar, you go over the door mount bar. If you're using a tree, you go over the tree branch. And hanging, you can connect here. Now sometimes people want to make the black ropes longer, and they will do that by putting the rope through itself and hanging from a beam or a pole. That's just fine as well. Again, this rope is incredibly strong, and of course you can use your own ropes too. Just make sure you buy them from a hardware store and make sure that they are weight tested. The next thing that we find inside the trapeze bag is your DVD. So all of our yoga trapezes come with a DVD to get you started. You can learn some of the basic postures, basic traction and inversion poses. And so you have a DVD, and also along with the DVD, you get a very simple pose chart as visual reference that you can use when you're practicing. Next up is the trapeze itself, and this is a very, very simple device, but I'll walk you through the different parts. What we have is a main sling, and then we have two handles. And every trapeze comes with the exact same setup. So these are my two handles, and they go on either side. There's a carabiner on the top, like a rock climbing carabiner. And same thing on this one. We have a rock climbing carabiner, and there's handles. These go on either side of my trapeze when it's hanging. And in the middle is what we call the main sling. And the main sling is a hammock-shaped swing that sits in the middle. It's smaller than a hammock, but again, has the black carabiners on top, and this is how it hooks in. So main parts of your trapeze before we move on to setup, we have the main sling. We have two sets of handles, 3 handles on either side. We have your 2 ropes for hanging. Again, we recommend you use these, but you can always get rope, high quality, weight-tested, inexpensive rope from any hardware store if you need to do any kind of creative rigging, or if your ceiling is extremely, extremely high, no problem at all. And last but not least, you have your pose chart and you have your DVD for getting started. Now let's take a quick break and I'll show you how to set up the yoga trapeze. So here we are getting ready to hang the trapeze itself. As you can see here, I have a ceiling bar. This is actually in YOGABODY Studios here in Barcelona. At your home, this might be our door mount bar. You might also have our ceiling mount hooks. This might also just be a tree branch or an exposed beam. Maybe it's a patio, maybe it's a railing and a patio. There's all kinds of different things, but essentially you need something to hang your ropes over or through. We have a whole bunch of different setup options. You can check our site. But this is the most common option, over some kind of pole or bar or tree branch or exposed beam. So I'm going to show you this setup now. I have taken my black ropes, which we prepared before, and I have draped them over the bar here. Now we have 2 different options. We can do the double rope, which is where I click in here, and I'm clicking through both the rope thimble, that metal part on the bottom, and then the last knot, and I could hang this way. But I'm really, really high here because these ceiling mounts are very high off the ground. So what I'm going to do is option number 2, which is very common, and it's important for you to see, is I'm going to take that rope thimble, and I'm going to feed it through the last knot, and I'm going to slide it down so the rope hugs the bar on the top. What that does is it gives me quite a bit more height. Now some people worry, oh, maybe the single rope is not strong enough. It's absolutely strong enough. It's already doubled up, and even one rope is strong enough by itself, so don't worry. We have the rope thimble here. I'm going to take the carabiner on the main sling, and I'm going to click into that rope thimble. Now in terms of the trapeze itself, there is an inside and an outside. It only matters aesthetically. You'll see the YOGABODY label. That's the outside of the trapeze sling. But if it were the other way, it's no problem at all. It is actually reversible, but technically, where the label is, that's the outside. On this particular trapeze, it's this greenish color that goes on the outside. I'm going to open up my trapeze like a hammock to make sure it's not twisted or bunched up. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to feed that rope thimble through the last knot, slide it down, and I'm going to click in. And now what I have is a nice hammock shape here. In terms of the distance between the top two ropes, the easiest way to do it is when you're standing on the ground. If you bring your arms out at your side and bend your arms right where they point up, that's about as wide as you want it. It's roughly 80 to 90 centimeters depending on the person. Usually a little bit less is where people feel comfortable, but you can figure out what works for you. It's not a big deal to adjust afterwards. Next, I'm going to add in the handles. There's one set that goes on either side. Let me grab the handles and I'll show you how that works. So here I have each of the handle sets. Now there's 3 handles on either side. And the only thing you want to do before you hook them on is to organize them. And what I mean by organize them is you should have the small handle, the longest handle, and then the medium handle in the same on both sides. It doesn't really matter what order they are, but it does matter that they're both the same on both sides. What I mean by that is the way these are organized right now, we go shortest handle, longest handle, medium handle. Same thing on this one, shortest, longest, medium. And in that way, we just know we'll be symmetrical. There's no right or wrong way. You can do it either way. But if they're both the same, it'll just be a little bit easier for practice. Now I go on the side, the outside of the main sling, and I hook in my handles. I just click into that rope thimble again. And then I'm on the other side, and I click through the rope thimble again. One thing to keep in mind is when you put your hands in, you want to be able to open the trapeze out to the side. And you want your handles, your carabiner for the handles, to be outside the carabiner for the main sling. And again, the simplest way to check it is you open up the trapeze like this. You can open up your entire rig. From here, we're all set to go. One thing that I will point out is there's black clips on the main sling and also on the handles. What the black clips are designed to do is to help you adjust the fabric. There's quite a bit of fabric and it can get in the way. So when we go and we sit down in the trapeze, a lot of times we'll use the black clip to actually make the seat smaller and to hug just our bum. In other poses, we'll make the seat very large and we'll use the trapeze more like a cocoon or a hammock. The black clips you find on the handles, you want to slide down until they create a nice triangle shape for the handle itself. Now the reason we don't have these fixed is because there are poses where we're going to slide the handle up, we're going to move the rubber handle to the side and use the fabric, not the hard rubber. So it does have a purpose. It's not just there to irritate you. But when you're first getting started, the good default position is to create a nice small triangle for your handles. And you'll find a clip on each of the handles. So this is the classic yoga trapeze setup. Now there are different ways to rig. Maybe you have an exposed beam. Maybe you have a tree branch. Maybe you're hanging from our door mount bar or our ceiling hooks. It doesn't really matter. However you're mounting, you're going to have this same setup with the ropes coming down, clicking in with your carabiners, and aligning your handles on the side, just like we've shown here. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. We're always happy to help.